Will the White Sox avoid the sweep in the Crosstown Classic at 2:20? Will Milwaukee hammer down on Seattle again after a 22-0 obliteration last night? Find out now on MLB Bases Loaded. A huge card on slate today.
15-game card. It's us versus the bookies. Bases loaded, high noon. It's going to be a showdown.
On a suddenly not so casual Friday, the buy hat is engaged. Two questions posed, answers to be found. It is Wednesday, August the 19th, 2026. MLB Bases Loaded. I am the Shark. He is Mikey Money Mike. We are back. What's going on?
What up? What up, you guys? Welcome in here. Bases Loaded. It's the birthday show. So before we even get anything going, let's make sure that we shout out and say happy birthday to my friend. 41 years young, my friend. Happy birthday to you, Shark.
Thank you. I appreciate that. I feel like I'm about 20 years old. Living the dream here, guys. It's a beautiful time to be alive. August 19th birthdays, Leo season, great times. And, what else would I want to be doing than talking some ball on this beautiful afternoon, Mike? Yesterday, we introed with a little pop music from the 90s. Now we got birthday. I haven't cracked any beverages yet. I have that fire coffee. I always tell people on the West Coast, get that fire coffee. It's what I do. It's fire times. But, Mike, talk to me. What's going on?
Dude, we had a slaying of the day yesterday, man. It was wild. Gave you guys, I gave you two show losers here. Javier to get the win for the Astros at plus 190. I tried the ladder with Male at 5+, didn't cash. We cashed everything else though. The Yankees cashed. Lie plus 6+ strikeouts plus 125. That Toronto Blue Jays plus 122. The San Diego Padres minus 106. The under 8.5. I double dipped in that game for you guys. I gave you the Texas and Milwaukee parlay at plus 187. Man, I went over and fired off a monster run on the RBIs. You had a bomber of a day. The Pirates, the Cardinals, the Twins, the over in the Dodgers game. And, look, that San Fran under 8.5 got us both, man. I thought San Fran had a shot there as the dog of the day, but they got a beatdown of the day is what they took over there in San Francisco. Turns out when Cleveland's a minus 180, heed the way. So it was a great day, man. We're hoping we can run it back again today because those numbers were absolutely stacking W's. And, I think from a show, we were on such fire yesterday, dude. It wasn't even just that, but there was a joker that came in the chat and started talking about how you guys cap where you talk about the baseball pitchers and they go and they travel in advance and they don't do that. They can't do that. Dude, trust the experts, man. Go Google it. Do yourself a favor. Use Google and you'll see exactly what we talk about on a regular basis. I had to go back and check it out because I was like, you know what? It's been a few years since I've looked. Maybe they changed the rules. No. And it makes a lot of sense. It's not often anticipated, but when you got the ace, you send him out early so he can get acclimated to the attitude of the new environment he's at there. Plus, by the way, we cashed our show parlay. The Harrison over 5.5 strikeouts, Texas and Houston. Dude, we were just on point yesterday. It was a great day. Looking to run it back again today.
Yeah, I always look to, pro athletes when it's their birthday and they always say they're going to play bigger. Absolutely, guys. We're going to I think we could sweep this card today. I'm feeling high vibes and not just because I'm trying to manifest it here. This is actually great data. And yesterday, the favorites in MLB went 12-3. Mike touching on it briefly, but we're going to see a lot of favorites cluster for the rest of the season due to the fact that a bunch of these teams really are just cliff diving and are pretty much gutted after the trade deadline. But I do think there's a lot of contrarian sides this afternoon that could be hitting. It's going to be a nice looking card, guys. If you guys are in the chat on the East Coast, it is my birthday. Shout out to all of us. I appreciate you guys immensely. If you guys are on the West Coast, get up and get ready to dominate. It's 9:10 a.m. Pacific. That coffee should be brewing and ready to go. And Mike, let's get down to business. Early games about to go off on a suddenly not so casual Wednesday, August the 19th, 2026. First game of the card, we're going 12:35. That is less than 25 minutes from now. Series finale getaway game. Final game of actually not the season. These teams actually play again, believe it or not, in Detroit in September. Tigers-Pirates game 3. Jackson Jobe on the bump at Paul Skeens. Mike, here we are again. We are approaching September, and we're still talking Skeens. He is the opener, not the opener of the game, but the opener of the card. What's going on here?
Yeah, this is a great opportunity to fade Paul Skeens. And it has nothing to do with Paul Skeens, which is the most amazing part about it. Like, you had me at Skeens. You know the deal here. We've been probably the patent Skeens fading squad here. Or at least I've been, give me any reason to fade this guy, and I'll take advantage of it here. But, man, listen. The Tigers, Jackson Jobe is the guy. Jobe be his name when he's going against out-of-division rivals. This year, he's 7-0, man. A perfect 7-0 against another division. He comes and he brings the goods. So I got a pitcher I love to fade. I got a pitcher that doesn't lose. How can I lose? I'm taking that plus money spot, dude. That's going to be how I open this card up today. And there's a couple, we saw all those favorites firing yesterday, so it does feel like a good spot here. And then last but not least, the Tigers, after a loss against the National League, are 107-81 over the last 21 years. So 57% or so win rate on them boys to get it done here. Give me the Tigers. Let's go. Come on with a roar.
Yeah, I'm going with the over in this game. I think you're going to see a lot of runs, and I think it's correlated to the current state of Paul Skeens. This guy, we don't know what's going on, really. We know he's not a winning pitcher at this point, but we also don't know if he's injured. Kind of funky environment. He's coming off a start in Miami a week ago Tuesday, so he's had a little time off here. He actually got pulled after 65 pitches, and he was talking business after the game, and it wasn't good business. He said something along the lines of, I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what my pitch sequence is. I don't really have a lot of confidence right now, which is very bizarre to hear from last year's Cy Young winner, but it's not good stuff. You're going to see a lot of runs here. Not only that, you're going to see a nice little bounce back off last night's pitcher's duel. Told you guys last night, Braxton Ashcraft is currently the best pitcher for Pittsburgh. He proved me right. 4-1. Carter Montero matched for most of the game. It was a low-scoring game. You're going to see a lot more runs here. It's hot. It's outdoors. It's PNC Park, Pittsburgh on a Wednesday. And Jackson Jobe here, start 2 of the year. I told you guys, son of a pro golfer. Well, you know what? Pro golfers in the middle of the afternoon, sometimes they shoot high numbers. It's warm out, and I think this guy's going to shoot a high number himself this afternoon. And final point on this, we do have matchup data with Skeens against Detroit. As I mentioned, oddly, interleague play here. These teams do play twice a year, 2 series. They will play another one in Detroit in September. So last year, you actually got multiple starts from Skeens against the Tigers. The last time he faced the Tigers, it was actually July 21st last year, under 3-0 Pittsburgh. Key point on the line, though, 7. This moves up to 8, 8.5. You're going to see a ton of runs here. Skeens' home starts are 10-3 versus the over. The lineup does back him. Like some of these games that he's actually not pitched great in, they have won due to the fact that the lineup seems to get morale for this guy. So I don't mind fading him at all. Mike likes the Tigers. Take the over as well. We're going to see runs here. This game's going to be going off during the show. Let's get some Yerfie runs here potentially as well, guys. If you guys are in the chat, betting the Yerfie, betting the over, anything going on, talk to us in the chat. Mike, any final comments or keep it moving?
I actually took the Nerfie in that game.
Uh-oh. Well, we're going to be able to sweat it live on the air as we go here. We will see, and let's keep it moving. Next game on the card, more afternoon baseball, 1:10 in Queens. Padres-Mets getaway game here. Michael King at Robert Stock. That's a bullpen game for the Mets. King, start 2 at Eastern time. Did pitch last week, actually, at Cleveland. Caught a win. Maybe expecting some comfort for this guy on his body time on Eastern time. Mike, what's going on here this afternoon?
Yeah, I'm going right back to the Padres. I told you guys about the top 4 bats that I like on this team, and I don't like the Mets. Yesterday was a great bounce back day for the Padres and the under. I like the under again today as well here, but I really like the Padres here, especially in the early favorite role, where they were favorite the previous day as well. Catching the W, they're 40-16. They run them back, so make them a favorite for a reason. This line has moved in their direction. They're also 9-0 as a road favorite, closing a series against a team that sucks. So at the end of the day, the Mets do qualify as that sucks. I do like the Padres. I'll keep it short and sweet. I also like Manny Machado to do something today.
Yeah, I agree. I haven't bought a Padres hat yet, but this is a Padres spot. And when I was looking at this before, interestingly enough, just in the 10-game sample we're dealing with here, Padres are the hottest team in baseball. Mike's been talking about this. Good lineup, bunch of stuff going on. They're finally catching form. If you guys remember early season, Fernando Tatis didn't hit a home run for like 2 months at home. But last night, he really showed us the player he is. He really exploded with the bats, and he had an incredible, incredible play saving, I believe, a grand slam, jumping about 2 feet over the wall. The morale is high for the Padres. They're 8-2 last 10. Not only that, as I mentioned, you're getting Michael King's second consecutive road start at Eastern time. This is the second time this year he's gone from road start 1 at the American League to a matinee at an out-of-division team in the National League. It was actually in April, but it's an incredibly similar spot and a great pattern. He had to start at Boston. Didn't pitch particularly well, had 4 earned runs in the game, stayed on the road. It was a Wednesday matinee, 12:35 p.m., not coincidentally, at Pittsburgh, the same calendar spot we're dealing with right now for Paul Skeens coming up. But King went in there, pitched well, and the Padres did win 8-2. So it's the same spot. He just pitched at Cleveland. He kind of labored. He got a win, but he didn't look great in the game. He was peripherally inflated. Now he stays east, goes to New York. And absolute final point on this, you guys got to remember Michael King used to pitch for the Yankees. He likes pitching in New York. It's his comfort zone. He's actually from Rochester. So this is not a San Diego guy here at all. He's a New York type of guy. He will be ready to shove. And I said final point, but I have one more point. You actually do get a circle on the calendar game here for King. In the previous series between these teams back in June in San Diego, he actually did take a 5-0 loss to the Mets and Christian Scott. He was actually solid enough in the matchup. However, 2 home runs against. He will be locked in here, ready to go. Revenge game, Padres bye team. Great stuff here, Mike, in the early card. Take the Padres and let's cash. Keeping it moving down the line. More afternoon baseball here, 1:40. Going back to Minnesota, Target Field, Game 3 of this series. Final game of the season between the Braves and the Twins. A.J. Smith-Shawver at Taj Bradley, Mike. We're probably the only show that's given out the Twins correctly 2 straight days. Ultimately, trying to complete the sweep. Can they do it this afternoon?
We will get there in time here. Stop Geo. 10 of the Mets' last 11 home games have gone under. I really like that under in that game, too. You know, I've been firing away on it. I want to stay on it as well, but I love the Padres, so it's a great spot, I think, to collab on both spots there. Kelly V says Toronto's been hot as well. Fighting for a playoff spot is correct, KV. Let's go here. Says Kelly V says winner covers the run line in the Detroit-Pittsburgh series. Temps are actually comfy in the Berg today. Man, it is. I saw the humidity today, 92% humidity. I was like, damn, it's like 65 with 92% humidity. It's horrible. Lots of birthday shout outs for you as well. Johnny Walker already shot the Nerfy in that Pittsburgh game as well. 9 Legacy likes the Pirates run line in this business here. So get them in there, you guys. We want to shout out what you guys are on and see where we're all getting to the window to cash with here. Public Enemy says happy birthday. Stop Geo says Mets are 9-14 as home dogs this season for what it's worth. Mets are just bad, I think, in this case here. But I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take Chris Sale at this price. You know, I yesterday I felt really good about Minnesota, simply because it was like, look, it's that run back spot, right? When they start winning, they win in clusters. I'm going to pump the brakes on that system today. 1, you got Chris Sale. 2, you got the fact that you talk about some of these hot teams in baseball. One of the hottest teams, I think the Mets in the last 2 weeks have been, since the trade deadline, are the hottest team. And if you go back to the All-Star break, it becomes the San Diego Padres. But dude, don't frown on these Atlanta Braves after July 8th, late series games. These guys are 13-0 this year. They have not lost one yet. I don't think today's any different. Take the best pitcher they got out there. Fire it up. Oh, and you're saying they switch pitchers on me, huh? Doesn't matter to me. I'm fading Taj Bradley either way. That's what it really comes down to. We talk about show player Taj Mahal. I'm okay with that. He can stay in there and he can puke up some runs. I don't know about the over though. 8.5. This Atlanta team scored like 2 runs altogether. So I like the Braves. This is a good Brave spot.
Yeah, it's not Chris Sale. It's A.J. Smith-Shawver.
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah, he's not exactly Chris Sale, to say the least. And due to that fact, I'm taking the Twins. And, Mike, you've talked about this at nauseum on the show. They're a cluster team. I think they're going to cluster here. But not only that, it draws me back to what I've said in Game 1 and Game 2 of this series. The Braves were 9-0 the previous 3 seasons. Sweep, sweep, sweep. This is a sweep type of environment. They're interleague play. It's not rivals. So when one team catches momentum, they just sweep. And I think this is what the Twins are going to do. Not only that, Taj Bradley has lost 3 straight games. that is the third time this year he's lost 3 straight games. The previous 2, he did win the 4th game. So his market cap on the low side is an L3. He does not lose 4 in a row. And I went through that 3-game sample all in August. This is the research I truly love to do. Was there a reason he's looked bad in August? Yes. He had to start at Seattle. It's on the West Coast. It's uncomfortable for him. Then he had to start at Milwaukee. Interleague play. Friendly reminder, guys, Milwaukee just lit up Seattle for 22 runs last night. Taj, we'll give you a break on that. We'll give you a pass. Milwaukee's very good right now. And then the last start, he got hit at the Coors Field in Iowa. So Seattle, Milwaukee, Iowa. Now he's back home. And this guy has been elite at home, 5-0 last 5. Great numbers against all opponents, specifically the National League. His whip at home out of the division is 1.0. He rarely even labors. And this is the shortest line of the series where books are saying, we liked Atlanta a little bit. We liked them less. We like them even less here. An absolute final point. I told you guys this yesterday. Atlanta's just underperforming this year, road games and interleague play. They're 4-8. This is not a morale spot. If anything, this is actually a buy low, pissed off spot for Taj Bradley. He's going to be locked in this afternoon. Guys, I said it the other day, short lines oftentimes are not free money for the favorite. Look towards the Twins. Mike, see if you can get to the Braves. But just to clarify in the chat, Kelly, it is not Chris Sale. It is not Chris Sale. You would never see Chris Sale laying a minus 105 in this matchup. It would be minus 175. So A.J. Smith-Shawver on the bump. Mike, any final comments or keep it moving?
Atlanta's going to kick the shit out of the Minnesota Twins today, and it's going to stay under the number. Both teams, by the way, do have an under. Atlanta 13-0 to the under, multiple run loss if they had more than 5 hits. Losing and not crossing the finish line. But that's what I said. There's low scoring. That's what combined 3 runs in the last 2. It's also Minnesota that has an under run going on there as well, versus teams that strike out a lot. So I think this is a lower scoring game. And even though the pitching change is in place, look, Taj Bradley, if he's a cat, he's on life number 9. So how many times can he continue to reboot and restart? You know, he's done it year over year over year over year over year with multiple teams on top of that. He's become a journeyman in this process now. And I think what we saw at the cornfield is just indicative of who he's become. So I think you take Atlanta at that cheap price and the under. Parlay the 2 together again. San Diego under, Atlanta under. That's a 2 little leg parlay for you right there, courtesy of Mikey Money on Sharks. But that's a birthday gift for me to Shark.
We will see Taj Mahal. I'm a gambler. We're back in the Taj Mahal on my birthday. It's only fitting.
Oh, right.
It's only fitting. And let's keep it moving. Speaking of gambling and speaking of good vibes, we're going to game 3 of the next series, final game of the year, Crosstown Classic. I love that name. You got the Subway Series in New York. Crosstown Classic. Chicago, you guys just do it right out there. Speaking of doing it right, the Cubs are 2-0 in this series, both tight, however. Walk-offs both nights. Mike, really, I have the hat next to me. I haven't actually placed the wager yet, but I think the White Sox can avoid the sweep this afternoon.
No, I think it's a really good spot for the Chicago Cubs. Offensive, I told you before, it's not just hating on the White Sox. We made some great money with them, but they lack experience and depth. And when you get these tight games like this, it comes out. Now, the Cubs, by the way, this season, they got to be the best team against lefties. They're 25-11. They've won 12 straight. I mean, the Cubs should start this thing off early and continue that momentum throughout here. So I like the pitching matchup and the advantage for the Cubs. I like the fact that they've got the future MVP on the squad out there. Also, by the way, day games at Wrigley, they won 10 in a row in those spots, man. So, yeah, there's something to it here. It's going to be a Chicago Cubs spot. You know, this price tag, this is right on the bubble of me feeling comfortable laying the juice. Like, I don't want to get into the minus 150s, but this is minus 138. I think it's fair, and I think it's a Cubs spot here. I like the Cubs first 5 and the full game here, but we'll go with the Cubs here, give it an official play. Not to mention, I like what Holmes is doing. You know, I'm not a big Newcomb fan. So let's go. Let's take this minus 138, excuse me. Chicago Cubbies.
Yeah, as I said, I haven't gotten to a wager in this game. Tough spot. I don't really love fading the White Sox to avoid the sweep. This is obviously a huge rivalry game. As I said yesterday, I was watching the game 2 nights ago. It felt like the World Series. Shout out to you guys in Chicago. You guys are great sports fans. The stadium was absolutely rocking. It will be rocking this afternoon as well. Last night was slightly more tame. I didn't see any big fights out in the bleachers last night, but who knows? Maybe they did exist.
That one guy was yelling, grab his dick and twist it. Oh man, I was crying. I was laughing so hard. It's been a fun series. You got to respect it. It's both teams have been putting some runs on the board, and man, PCA is just a fucking specimen, though, isn't he?
Great player, absolutely out of nowhere. And but yeah, I noticed yesterday too. Apparently, he was a Mets farm guy, and they traded him for Javi Baez. Go Mets! Way to trade PCA in an awful trade, just terrible stuff. But as I said, no side for me in this game. It's going to be an interesting game to watch this afternoon. Mike likes the Cubs, and we will keep it moving. Next game on the card, final matinee on the card this afternoon. Kind of a funky matinee, actually. Not an early start at all here. 4:10 at Fenway Park. Diamondbacks Red Sox getaway game here. Brandon Pfaadt at Peyton Tolle. Mike, I was handicapping this before. I kind of felt like something like the 4:10 Eastern time NFL game. It's like, why is that game being played at 4:10 on Eastern time? I don't know why this game is being played at this time, but I actually do like this game quite a bit from a handicapping perspective. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I do too. I was intrigued by the Tolle spot, from a strikeout perspective. If you want to get into the strikeout prop business here, not a bad one. I love them 5.5s. I think some of these guys that kind of find themselves in the upper tier of pitching certainly can go out there and do it. As a rookie this year, he's got a 2.97 ERA and he's averaging 10 strikeouts per 9. So that's holding opponents down as well at a 2.14. Now the challenge here, Arizona's strikeout rate against lefties is generally pretty low. And then you've got to respect recent form, and maybe it's a little recency bias, but Pfaadt's been on fire, man. And he likes playing on the road on top of it here. To me, the over, and I heard this yesterday, and I was watching the game kind of unfold, and I was like, this is a little nuts here that they're saying, oh, Ketel Marte's gone, and the offense is going to go to shit. And then I'm watching them put runs on the board, and I'm like, wait, where? I thought Ketel Marte's gone, and everything goes night-night here in Boston. But that was another easy over. Granted, they only scored 4 runs out there. Merrill Kelly takes the loss, but I like this matchup today for Arizona here. So I'll take a chance on him with the full game here. I can't see Boston. Let's not forget, it was just a week ago. Boston was kind of back into mediocre form again. So yes, they've caught some stretches, but I like this Diamondback spot here. I think it's a good look.
Yeah, Mike, it's my birthday, and I was watching the show intro, and months ago it was. I put this hat on. It's been months. It's been a long time coming. But D-backs, let's make it rain in Boston this afternoon. The buy hat is engaged. Great spot. Absolutely great spot. First of all, you're trying to avoid a sweep. I don't see the Red Sox sweeping the Diamondbacks here. And the books are great. Talk about your lines in this series. Game 1, minus 156 blowout. We said we didn't really know what was going on yesterday. Well, the books did. They moved it up, actually, from 156 to 168. Another blowout. So you get blowout, and now it moves down to minus 140. And outside of the fact we don't think the Red Sox are going to sweep the D-backs in this environment, it's an absolutely fantastic spot within the pitching matchup. Peyton Tolle is 7-0 last 7. Good for him. He's great. He's too hot. He's going to lose this afternoon. Not only that, pattern recognition is excellent here. He's coming off a road win at Toronto in his last start. 0 earned runs. Last time he had a matinee at home off of a 0 earned run start against a divisional opponent. It was a Yankees start that translated into a Wednesday afternoon 10-2 loss against the Washington Nationals. And guess what the line was in that game, guys? Minus 143. This is the same freaking line. It opened at minus 140. This guy's going to struggle. He's heady. And he's not going to function great at home at 410. Not only that, he is 0-2 this year at home against the National League. And beautiful for us here, both of them were weekday matinees. And both of them had the exact same final score. 10-2 Atlanta, 10-2 Washington. I think 10-2 could hit here. And final point on this, go to the other side of this. Brandon Pfaadt is an elite road pitcher. 44 2/3 innings pitched, only 13 earned runs. So I went through the starts. High degree of difficulty, too. He beat the Dodgers on the road. He beat the Padres. He did not beat Philadelphia, but he pitched great in the game at the bank. And he also traveled great in his last start to Atlanta, who's been one of the hottest teams in the National League. So Pfaadt went to the bullpen, came back. He is absolutely on fire. And last year, he actually did pitch against Boston at home in this series and beat the Red Sox 6-1 with Giolito on the bump. Tole actually pitched in that series as well. You talk about matchup data. That was his rookie year last year. Tole got crushed by the Diamondbacks on the road. 5 earned runs in only 3 innings pitched, approaching 90 pitches. This is a terrible spot for Peyton Tole, guys. He's a Big 12 guy. He went to TCU. He's young. He's 23 years old. Guys, Mike, you're talking Britney Spears yesterday. I'll ask you a question. What was the better Blink-182 song? What's My Age Again or All the Small Things?
What's My Age Again? I'll go with that one because technically this is Tole's rookie year. So even though a lot of talk about what he did last year, this is the rookie season, and he's got some pretty nice odds to be the AL Rookie of the Year. I mean, he's 35-1, 40-1 in some books out there. He's having that kind of a season for that Boston team, considering how bad Boston played early in the year. From an AL Rookie of the Year perspective, Parker Messick kind of qualifies in that situation as well. Parker Messick's 20. We're going to talk about him shortly, but 20-1, 25-1, 27-1. I wouldn't mind taking a flyer on Tole, especially if Boston gets into the playoffs. That's a huge move for this kid. There's a little futures look for you guys, baseball-wise.
Yeah, no, exactly. And for those of you guys who do not know the songs from Blink-182, What's My Age Again? He says, nothing good happens when you're 23 or something like that. So Peyton Tole, Wednesday afternoon in the summer, dude, he's a drinker. So you see that guy? He's a big dog. He's like 60. Looks like he puts down a 12-pack every night. He'll be hungover, and he's gonna struggle this afternoon. Great spot on the afternoon card, guys. You get plus 150 in the market too, so you can make a nice little $1,500 piece this afternoon if you want. Bet it and let's dominate. Keeping it moving down the line here. Evening baseball, a bunch of stuff going on. 6:05. We're going to Philadelphia. Marlins Phillies final game of the season. Sandy Alcantara against Aaron Nola. And I was looking at this before. I was like, wow, the season really has flown by. The final game of the season between these teams, Mike. What's going on here?
You know, this has got to be the spot you take the Marlins. This number's come way down. It's Alcantara on the bump on top of that thing here. Look, Phillies have been winning. You know, cashed me up yesterday. It was nice. I had that little 3-leg RBI parlay that I shared. And Schwarber got her done for us here. But I don't have anything too fancy around this game. I just want to get in the Miami business here, looking at this line, saying it's suspect. Now, you know, the flip side of it is, as I talked about yesterday with the Yankees, catching that price tag at that low number's got a real nice feel to it here. But Alcantara, this range for Alcantara is where he excels. He's 8-3 against the Phillies, between a -120 and a +200. So got to respect it. I like him in the first 5, especially here. And I wouldn't be surprised to watch, you know, some runs get left out or left out on the board there by Nola here. I could see this being a situation where I like the under again yesterday, but man, I just don't want to count on Nola at 4-9 here. Miami Marlins with this price tag feels like I hate to use the word gift here, but yesterday we talked about it. We're not afraid to talk about the old lock of the century here. And Alcantara, I mean, look, this guy gets her done. If he won his previous start in the dog roll against the team, he goes back and fires again. So he's got that comfort, that confidence, that familiarity with the Philadelphia Phillies. I'll fade him today. I'll take this Sandy Alcantara spot.
You know, I think that he might pitch well, but I think Philadelphia gets it done. When all is said and done, I'll be out to dinner for my birthday, and let's cash. The buy hat is engaged. Guys, you think I put this shirt on out of coincidence? Absolutely not. I don't like this color, but I have 2 hats that are the same. Come on, guys. I mean, this is all pre-constructed here. But this is a line functionality spot.
Are you saying you cap your card based on the shirts in your wardrobe?
I correlate all of it together to a certain but no, jokes aside, this is just a line functionality spot for me here. Alcantara and Nola actually did face off heads up in Miami, and the game was a real tight, low-scoring game. Miami won the game 1-0. Alcantara was great, but so was Nola. So the matchup here is not as bad for Nola as you might think. And Nola's a better home pitcher. So if he was that good against this lineup at Lone Depot Park in the Hialeah region of Miami, he'll be good tonight. And I just think this is really where it comes together over 9 innings for Philadelphia. Again, Sandy might go 6 or 7. I think they could get there late. Sandy's 2-0 this year against the Phillies. And I've talked about this numerous times in the last couple of weeks. It's very unique stuff. It's late August. You get these final games in the division. The Philadelphia Phillies right now, Bryce Harper probably calling Schwarber saying, we're not going to lose to Sandy 3 times in 1 year. Double revenge. They're going to be pissed. They're going to be focused against this guy. The books do agree. That home game for Alcantara against Nola, Miami was actually favored minus 140. So that was actually a heavy spot for the Marlins. This doesn't have to move over 60 points towards Nola here. It could be just 30, 35. Something's going on here. The books know something, in my opinion, with Philly. And outside of all that, I think it really is just the final game of the season. This is 13 of 13. Philadelphia is 7-5. They've won the last 2. Philadelphia is a team that's going somewhere. The Marlins are not. And I think this is really where Mattingly and the boys will be focused on this to beat Alcantara in this stadium tonight. So Buy Hat is engaged. Mike, I will be out to dinner. I'm rooting for your team, so we all win. If you win cash. If I win, you actually feel good. And I lose some money, but thankfully I got a nice little bankroll for a nice dinner tonight. So we're all winning here on this beautiful Wednesday. Take it and let's cash. Keeping it moving down the line here. More evening baseball. 6:40 in Baltimore, 6:35, in Baltimore. That early start time, yet again, Yankees-Orioles game 2, Warren at Bassett. Bassett start 2 off the IL. He did miss about 2 months. Warren on the road running really kind of an uncannily clean sheet, Mike. You hit this one yesterday with the Yankees. Can they do it again?
I'm going to go to the Baltimore Orioles today. I'm going to do a little zigzag in this series here. I like the price with the Yankees. I get it, but the thing that made sense for me yesterday was just, well, for the last couple of days, I guess, frankly, was the travel situation with Baltimore is putting some runs on the board, though. And that's kind of where the Yankees have been thin, to say the least, at this point here. And it feels to me like when you've got Will Warren, he was supposed to start yesterday. They zigzagged him to today. Those are always kind of warning signs for me when it comes down to it. And so I do like, Will Warren, by the way, on the road this year, he's 9-3. He's been putting up a number, but they messed around with the start. So the bounce back spot at home here for the Baltimore Orioles, that's a real thing, believe it or not. When you get the team that's averaging more than 4 runs a game, but which is these boys here in Baltimore, they're playing against an opponent in the same league. This is a bounce back spot. So I like this. I'll take Chris Bassett, the old Bassett Hound. As a home dog, by the way, this dude's 14-4. He's peeled off 8 straight wins. So, listen, I like this thing. I'm just going to take Baltimore. I'm not going to feel too great about fading these Yankees because if they cash at minus 116, I'm going to be pissed. But I like Baltimore. I think it's a good price.
Yeah, well, you're going to like it more because we're collabing on this one. We're going right back to the streets. The Buy Hat is engaged. And I just see zigzag in this series. Anybody who watched the game last night, you didn't really feel like the Yankees dominated the game. They only had 5 hits in the game. That's kind of the story of this team without Aaron Judge, Stanton, and Bellinger in the lineup. They don't really hit. They hit home runs. They don't hit. They're actually second in Major League Baseball in overall home runs. They're second worst in batting average. And I was looking at some data before. The last team that was second in home runs overall and second worst in average was actually the 1916 Cubs. Mike, what is it with these 100-plus year outliers? I mean, it's absolutely wild.
It's the 100-year storm. It's due. Everything's due this year. They're all coming in.
Yeah, ridiculous. So the Yankees are an outlier team dating back to 1916, 110 years. Point being, outliers don't sustain. You're not supposed to be winning games when you're purely relying on home run balls. And if you go back to last night's game, Shane Baz did what I expected. He pitched great. I told you guys yesterday, Baz on weeknights, specifically Tuesday night, pitches great. He was totally in control. The bullpen came in and blew it. It's not going to be the same situation tonight. Mike, I love that nickname, the Bassett Hound. Just instills confidence in me for this guy. Like, if I didn't even know baseball and you just told me, hey, we're back in the Bassett Hound tonight, I'd be like, all right, sign me up. I like it. But in terms of the actual matchup data, same conversation we just had with the Phillies game. The Orioles have lost to Will Warren twice this year. The Orioles know that. This is a double revenge game. They're going to be pissed off and fired up to beat this guy, and the books agree. The last time Warren pitched at Camden Yards, he was facing Trevor Rogers, who is a higher-graded pitcher than Chris Bassett. And Warren was favored in the matchup, minus 138. So, guys, do the math with me. Warren is favored 1.4 to 1 against Rogers, and they move it down against Bassett coming off the IL. The books like the Orioles here. It's a stinky spot. It's another one of these short road favorites the better team history, the most championships in the history of the sport, they're not giving you free money long term. If the Yankees win, it's a bad habit that you will lose long term with. And I do believe that, actually. Sometimes the books give you a little piece of, piece of ass here. It's like you hook up with some hot chick once, and then she ruins your life for the next 6 years. If you hit a short favorite on the road, it gets in your mind. You say, wow, I can do that again. It'll come back to bite you. So keep that in mind, guys. Little shark knowledge here on my 41st birthday. But short favorite, no more Yankees. Take the Orioles. And let's cash. Keeping it moving here.
I got one fun stat to throw in there as well, just to kind of complement that. First of all, I could use my life getting ruined for a little bit here. So if there's a strange that's rolling around that's like a 9 or a 10, I'd take a shot with it for a couple of years. Why not? But anyhow, that's a different story. But Chris Bassett, dog against the Yankees. How about this? Did 6-1 in the dog roll. As long as it's not more than a 130, as long as he's not expected to get his barn doors blown off, he goes out and performs. I like it. I think it's a great look here. Let's go.
Yeah, and last year when he pitched for Toronto, he had one home start against the Yankees. He did beat them heads up, actually, on a Thursday last year at the Rogers Center, July the 3rd, 2025. But, take the Orioles and let's cash. Keeping it moving here. More evening baseball. Going back to Cleveland tonight, Mike, this one really kind of did us dirty last night. You tried to take the sexy dog. I don't know if we can ever call the Giants sexy in any context right now in this campaign, but the under really kind of got me going a little bit. 8-1. Come on, man. 8.5 line. We have to get to that 9 in a blowout.
Worthless, too. It was so worthless.
Complete garbage. It just, again, like, it's baseball, it happens, but, like, come on, dude. We couldn't just go 7 or 6-1. That all being said, Mike, you get Messick on the bump against an unknown pitcher. I believe this guy's nickname is Matt Tugboat Wilkinson. I mean, what a name. But what's going on?
You know what's funny about Tugboat? He was drafted by the Cleveland Guardians. Did you know that about Tugboat?
Did not.
Unbelievable situation here for the revenge-oriented Tugboat. Minus 218 for the Guardians. No way, man. I'll tell you what chat my ass yesterday was Leahy and his strikeout prop. It was the 4th inning with 2 outs. He had 6 strikeouts. And I was like, man, that opens us up. Let's go. We're on our way to that plus 1,100. He should go at least 5, maybe get him into the 6th. And then he ended at 6. He just couldn't get any more strikeouts past that number. So I was pretty disappointed in that spot there because I thought, man, we can really open up, and it got fun for about 30 seconds. But, going into this one today, I'm not taking the Guardians at this price. I don't care who's on the bump. I mean, Jesus Christ himself could be pitching. What I do like, though, I like Messick and the strikeout props. I kind of alluded to that when it comes to looking at this number 5.5. Check my box on that one. We see 6.5's got some plus money to it. Now, this feels like that Leahy spot yesterday. And dude, Parker Messick, he should go 6. He should get a quality start. It's the Giants, right? We know that they can't hit the ball. He hasn't allowed more than 2 runs in any starts since, I guess, the last 2 months, going back to the end of June. He's got a 2.59 ERA, a 1.03 whip. So there's not a lot of ducks on the pond when they do get hits out there. And he put up 8 strikeouts and went 7 innings his last game against the White Sox here. So San Fran, they don't hit the ball to begin with, but they're at a 24.4% strikeout rate against lefties. That's a great matchup for Parker Messick. And he's kind of dogged me in a few spots on his strikeout props this year. So I'm willing to run it back. I'm going to go with I like the under. I like the under 7.5 in this game. Full squad here, but I'm going to look at his K prop and see if I can't get in the game here. Parker Messick to get the win, by the way. I was pricing that piece out there. That was around a plus 130. I don't think that's a terrible way to play it. It's not like I don't see San Fran getting on the board early and often here. I think this is just one of those tricky little spots where you take Parker Messick to get the win. You circle Parker Messick for this game and you find every way to get involved with them. How about that?
Agreed. It's a Messick spot. The guy is an absolute dog. Shout out to Florida State. He's a product. He's from Tallahassee. He's my guy. Margin win coming, guys. Take minus 1.5. You want to bet this game. That is pretty square play, but the Giants are absolutely dead, Mike. I have absolutely nothing more on that game, Mike. You want to drop a video?
Let's do it, you guys. Appreciate everybody being in here. I was just looking something up, so I am not on the video button. There we go.
huge card on slate today.
15-game card. It's us versus the bookies. Bases loaded, high noon. It's going to be a showdown.
On a suddenly not so casual Friday, the
Dude, I was sleeping at the wheel there.
I was like living in a daze. I was like, what just happened?
I was like, that doesn't sound like the like button video out there. You guys, make sure you smash that thumbs up button. It's the first chance of the show. You can certainly go out there and help us spread the love, spread the algorithm, bless the action with luck. It's just a good principle. Get out there and smash that thumbs up button if you like what's going on here. If you want my boy to have a great birthday, show some love, man. Get that thumbs up button and let's keep her moving.
Absolutely, guys. Please drop a like. It helps to spread the content. As I always say, it's business, not luxury. It's not your Facebook account where you look back when you're 20 years old and you say, wow, I got 200 likes. Everybody loves me. No, it's not about that. This is business and it's money. We appreciate you guys helping us to grow the business aspect of this. And let's keep it moving. Next game on the card. More evening baseball tonight. Divisional baseball going back to Cincinnati. Cards-Reds game 4 of 5. Actually, a 5-game series due to a doubleheader a couple days ago. You get Chase Burns on the bump against Matthew Liberatore. Mike, I say it every time. When Burns takes the bump, you open your eyes. He's on the bump tonight. Maybe not coincidentally for my birthday. Chase, let's have a night. What do you think about this one?
Did I skip one? Did I miss that Cincinnati game? I guess I did. All right. Well, listen, I like Chase Burns. I'll keep it short. I think it's a good spot to take Chase Burns in this business here. And I can't believe I skipped one. I missed it. That's my bad here. But yeah, I'm not in the Liberatore business here. Chase Burns is an absolute animal. And I could see him going out there and having himself a really strong game.
Yeah, it wouldn't be I was not going to put this hat on because it's a clash in the color scheme, but so is this. Well, who cares? We're hanging out here. The buy hat is engaged. And yeah, Chase Burns is my guy. I think I've bet him every single time he pitched in the last 2 months. We're not stopping here. This is the only time you can back the Reds at this point in the season. I gave you guys the Cardinals last night. Leahy did what we thought he would do. He shoved. He pitched great. Shutout. This is where Burns is going to do the same thing. I could see a shutout tonight. Burns is 2-0 at home in the division. He's actually never had a full start against the Cardinals. He had a relief appearance last year, interestingly enough, on the road in September. But this is where you want to back this guy unequivocally at all points in time in the division and at home. And Liberatore here, one word, inconsistent. This guy finds his best road quality at American League opponents. And I think that's partially due to just a lack of familiarity with interleague teams. Teams that know him hit him. He's not very good in the division. He's not good in the road in the division. He actually had a home start against Cincinnati. Did win earlier this year, 6-5. But guys, take note of that score, 6-5. That wasn't really a Liberatore showcase game. He didn't have great numbers in the game at all. The bats woke up for him. Now he's got to go on the road. If he gets hit, which I expect him to, the bats are not going to wake up for him. And this line is heavy for a reason. You're not laying 1.4-1 with the Cincinnati Reds because it's not a strong take. This is a very strong take. Take the Reds and let's cash. Our guy in the chat says Cardinals money line Liberatore is in the – well, you misspelled his name, so he's not even in the building, so you can't take the side. We talked you off it. There you go. But the guy's not very good in the division, guys. Look, do another layer of research, and you will see what we're talking about there. Appreciate you guys in the chat. Drop your comments, and let's keep it moving. Next game on the card, going back to where we thought we would be about 5 minutes ago, Blue Jays Rays. Game 2 at the Trop tonight. Drew Rasmussen against Max Scherzer. Mike, great call last night. We were all over the Soriano show. He did what he's doing, and the Blue Jays are really a buy team at this point, approaching 500 on the campaign. Now only 3 games under 500. You get game 2 of this series, another big line. But, Mike, do you think the Blue Jays continue the bull market?
Yeah, I'm going to take another shot with the Blue Jays here until further notice, right? The hottest team at baseball at home, big number out there. Everybody's betting it. The number's coming down. It went from -216 to -186 out there. And, for what it's worth, the Blue Jays do find themselves in a nice little 9-0. And, the run line's not terrible, right? Plus 1.5. It's a run line, money line trend here where it's 9-0. If they walked less than 4 bases and their bullpen gave up a couple of runs. So it's kind of just one of those mediocre teams that just finds a way to grind. And right now, this season, what's happening? Toronto needs to grind. They're trying to push for that wild card position here. They're not done. And they could really close the gap here against a division foe. There's a ton of familiarity out there. The Scherzer piece does concern me a little bit. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it. Dude's just not great, but I think in this ballpark here, it's pitcher friendly. So, lots of unders flying on there. The wind's kind of coming in a little bit on top of that. So, Drew Rasmussen, for what it's worth, the guy I like a couple of guys on. Here's the problem I have when I talked to you guys about this yesterday with the bats. I like Alejandro Kirk. I think he goes out there and gets it done today. George Springer's got a ton of at-bats against this guy, but he's been pretty cold. Okamoto's down in the 6th spot, but he's still hitting a 250 against Rasmussen. Andres Jimenez, 429, buried down there in the 7. So Drew Rasmussen, if he gets through the top of the order, he's going to struggle once he gets to the bottom of the order because those guys all have familiarity. And if he walks anybody, and he's got a whip that's sub 1, so respect right now against this Toronto Blue Jays team. But if he does start to get, a little loose and put guys on base, that's a bad spot. Scherzer, for what it's worth for Scherzer, the one benefit Scherzer has in this game, he's only seen one player on the Tampa Bay Rays team, Cedric Mullins, 7 at-bats, 2 hits against him. So he stinks. His ERA sucks, but I think we'll take the random. We'll take the unknown here. And it's a great spot because you got a bullpen lets up multiple runs trend, and then you bring in a bag of shit like Max Scherzer. No one's taking Tampa or Toronto. I will. I'll jump in on them, boys. I think it's a good looking chance for a plus 183.
Yeah, and I think momentum is real. I think they really are finding that wind upward that we thought could take them till this long. If you guys actually rewind the show, which you're not going to do, we'll tell you what we said. Go back to about May. We were on record saying the Blue Jays are going to find it, but they're going to find it a lot later than people think. And this is precisely when they are finding it. So I agree. And again, we did forecast this going back about 3.5 months. This is where they're really hot. You don't want to be on the other side. Take the Blue Jays and let's cash. Keeping it moving here. 7:40 tonight in Kansas City. Series finale, I believe. I didn't look into this one in super detail. But A's Royals in Kansas City. Gauge jump at Seth Lugo. Mike, when I was looking at this before, as I said, the favorites went 12-3 yesterday. And I think some dogs are barking today. If the A's are ever going to do anything, it's Gauge jump on the road. I don't know if they can do it, but Mike, what do you think?
Oh, man, I don't. This is just like I said yesterday. I don't really like this game. Should be an under, under 8.5, Seth Lugo. I mean, both these pitchers stink. They're both 4.5 ERAs. They're both 5-7. So there's not really the pitching edge that would warrant Kansas City. But, Kansas City's a grimy, shitty team that just finds a way to claw back. And they did it again yesterday. So for those reasons, I don't really have much going on in this game. I do have an RBI in this spot, though. I went back to Bobby Witt, plus 166 for Bobby Witt to get an RBI. I took a shot with it, man. I said, you know what? I thought that was good money. I thought, he cashed for me yesterday. It's come way down now on top of that. It's plus 135 at this point. So line's dropping. Kind of a good sign out there. If you need to have a play in this game, go Bobby Witt Jr. to get an RBI.
Yeah, tough game. Here's the issue. Gauge Jump is going to pitch well in this game. He's a great road pitcher. Interestingly enough, this campaign 1. We've talked about this guy. He went to LSU. He's an SEC guy. He functions better outside of Sacramento. And it makes sense. He's not from Sacramento. It's a minor league park. It's funky. He also didn't pitch well in Vegas when they had the 2-game stint in Vegas. But go through his road starts. He's actually 5-1 versus plus 1.5. Books know that. They're making you pay for it. It's minus 144, cheapest price on Kalshi. So, guys, look at that and let the numbers tell you the story. The books actually agree with what I'm telling you here. Jump will pitch well. The game will be competitive. The major issue here with backing the A's to win the game is what you saw last night. They can get a lead. It's just a matter of can they hold it? And do they want to hold it? It seems like they're completely tanking. As we said, their whole infield's on the IL. Severino's been out for months. The team seems like they're literally trying to just tank like an NBA team to get a draft pick. Not saying that's what they're doing because it's baseball. It's not really like that. But they just are giving away games, and their run differential is so far worse than any other team in baseball. So, moral of the story, Gage Jump is going to pitch well in this game. You don't want to back Kansas City. Plus 1.5 is probably the best look, but you don't want to back the A's in any context going forward. So, interesting conversation. Plus 1.5, you want to pay for it. Not a great game. And let's keep it moving. Next game on the card. Only other game in the 7 o'clock window tonight. That is actually, I believe, 6:40 in Milwaukee. Mariners-Brewers game 2. Logan Gilbert at Dustin May. Really interesting stuff here, Mike. We saw this last night, 22-0. Are you kidding me? But, truthfully, I think that's kind of the state of the Mariners right now, Mike. What did I say yesterday? I said the Mariners might be one of the flattest teams in all of baseball psychologically. On that, do you think they can bounce back here tonight?
I love to fire on a team off a shutout, right? That's like one of my favorite things I look for on the card. That's part of the reason why I really like that Cincinnati Reds spot today. Look, you just got shut out 3-0. Teams on average score about 3 runs across Major League Baseball. So if you just put up a 0, you're probably due to, put up a 5 or a 6-pack out there. But I don't think that's the case with this team. In fact, if there's any team that you don't want to mess with when they go out there and kick the shit out of somebody, it's the Milwaukee Brewers. They're 17-0. Favorite shutout win, 6 or more runs, 9 or more hits. And they're not just following it back up with like a 1-run. They're going out there and clubbing a team by 4 runs a game on average. So you got to run it right back, and you're getting a great price. And I don't care if the price is suspect or not. I'm not getting in the way of a 17-0 trend. Not for the Seattle Mariners. No fucking way. Get out of here.
I agree. This is Brewers all day. Hammer. I think I thought Toronto was the worst psychological group in baseball going back 3.5 months. Seattle has taken the top spot with emphasis. Some of these bad teams, like the A's, the Nats, the Royals, whatever, those teams aren't very good, and they're just kind of cratering down, tanking. The Mariners are actually a very talented team that is in complete disarray. And, Mike, I was thinking about this before. In my opinion, this is totally inexcusable. I mean, literally inexcusable. The Mariners go to the American League Championship Series last year and lose to the Blue Jays. Fine. So then because of that, you're flat the entire next season? That is absolutely unprofessional. I could get it maybe in April. You're a little flat coming out of camp. Maybe you're still thinking about the playoffs. Guys, this is August. What is the deal? And you're looking at the record. They're terrible, and they're getting worse. And the game last night, for me, really magnified all of it. I think the manager's the wrong guy. This guy, Dan Wilson, he played for the team 20 years ago. I think he's just one of your stopgap ex-player type of hires, not a great leader. And you look at the team last night. They're down 1-0 in the 5th inning. And the game completely spirals out of control. And I think that was way more than just the pitchers not pitching and Milwaukee being good. I think this team is just out the door. And you saw it in the 8th inning. They're down 19-0. And the ball goes into the outfield, and Julio Rodriguez doesn't even know how many outs there are and throws the ball into the stands, giving Milwaukee more runs. You talk about lackadaisical, lack of focus, diva, all of it. That all happens. Now they come back. They stay overnight in a hotel in Milwaukee. You think they're going to get juiced up and focused? I think, if anything, they're looking around on the field right now in the clubhouse saying, who are these guys? Like, they don't want to be around each other. And just to talk about it for one or two more minutes, you just go through what's been going on with this pitching staff. They trade Luis Castillo. Brian Wu can't pitch on the road for most of the season, which is, again, incomprehensible for an ace-quality pitcher. And you go through Logan Gilbert. He's actually looked good on the road. And you'll hear this on other shows, that Gilbert's a good road pitcher. Well, guess what, guys? His degree of difficulty on the road is absolutely pathetic. His road starts this year came against Texas, Minnesota when they sucked, the White Sox when they weren't as good as they are now, Kansas City, the Athletics, the Orioles when they were down in June, a mediocre Guardians team, and the Yankees, who we already detailed, who have the second worst batting average in baseball. The only time in the last 2.5 months Logan Gilbert was a small dog on the road out of the division. At Tampa Bay, Griffin Jacks laid this same number minus 115, and Tampa Bay hammered this guy 6-1. It's a blowout coming. And Mike, just the final point on this. Can I champion the Brewers for a half second?
Sure.
Okay. They come off the Dodgers series. Huge wins out west. You get a day off. I said it's like taking a team off the craps table on a heater. Usually they fall flat. Their version of falling flat off an off day and wins against the Dodgers was to hammer a team by 22. The Brewers are the best buy team in the sport. They have great psychology. And Dustin May, rejuvenated pitcher, traded from the hapless Cardinals to the best team in the sport. Dustin May is on. I see a blowout coming tonight, guys. Brewers, get ready. You guys are going to be deep in the playoffs. It's a great team in Seattle. Sorry, guys. Next season or nothing. Big dog spot. Take the Brewers and let's cash. Keeping it moving here. A couple more late night games. Actually, more so mid-evening games. Nats Rangers 8:05 in Texas. Cade Cavalli at Kamar Rocker. Mike, the Nats stink, but Cavalli does not stink. What do you think about this one?
Yeah, I'm not a big Rocker fan. If I'm not mistaken, he caught a win his last start too. But anyways, Cavalli, yeah, shoving, right? He's gone out there. He mowed everybody down his last start. He's been in really good position. He's got a really strong buy indicator on his strikeout props for me today. And the Nats, you talk about just kind of the flip side a minute ago was who's the best team to take after they kick the shit out of it and shut out a team? The Brewers. Who's a pretty darn good team after a shutout road loss? The Nationals. They're 7-0 on the run line. They're 7-0 on the money line. And they just kind of bounce back. That's that team where it's like they just don't. Now, this team's kind of checked out, right? We talked a little bit about that. Guy throws the ball in the stands. They were down 16-0. I'm willing to give him the pass for that. Like, he was already checked out of that game. But in this case here, the Nationals, yes, they are checked out, but they're playing this Texas Rangers team, and they're inconsistent. This is another one. I know my Nerfy didn't just cash there, but I like a no-run first inning in this thing because of Cavalli. And I'm going to take the Nationals first 5. I got a nice Nationals. I stopped. I forgot to write down some of these timestamps. Damn it. I think it was minus, what was the number here? Let me see what I got that first 5 at. Minus 104 for the Nationals first 5. I think that's the best way to attack this game.
I like both. I think first 5 and game. What's that?
I was going to say their bullpen sucks. That's why I wanted the first 5.
Yeah, no, I'm going with the game. I think they'll pull it out. I think, first of all, I think Texas is very mediocre. You talk about some of these teams in the American League West. I mean, the Rangers won the championship. They've been nothing close since. They're just not a good baseball team. We saw them struggle last week to beat the San Francisco Giants a couple times. Like, the Texas Rangers are just not very good. And you get Cavalli here. Cavalli's 4-0 on the road at the American League. He's great. And it's not just bad teams either. He caught a win against Tampa Bay on the road, 4-3. Caught a win against Boston on the road, also on a weeknight. He was great. 1 hit in the game, 13 Ks, really top quality. He did beat the A's 23-4, fine. But he also beat Cleveland 6-3. So it doesn't matter what division, underdog, favorite, playoff, non-playoff. He's great. I think the Nats get a win here tonight. Rocker's sketchy at home. You want to actually buy that guy on the road more? Nats will win this game, guys. Take the Nats and let's cash. Next game on the card, 8:10 in Houston. Angels-Astros game 2. Walbert Urania on the road bump against, looks like a bullpen game. Something Pecco. Ethan Pecco. Looks like he's making his major league debut here. Mike, crazy game for me. This series in general, I think, is garbage. What do you think about this one?
This is a shit game, is what I think about this one. They drafted this kid 6th overall. Hasn't really panned out. He went to Towson. 2 things I know that Towson's not good at: developing starting pitchers and playing college basketball. So, seemed to take a bunch of losses from the Maryland way there, but I don't want to be involved with this guy. He's bought a Darby, PA. Shout out to Darby, Pennsylvania. That used to be part of my sales territory when I lived down in the PHL here, but I'm going to take the Angels to start this game off as well. There's a couple of first 5s I like in today's card. I mean, the Houston Astros, talk about looking flat yesterday. What a mess. They were down early. They ended up down often, and that's what you get. You fuck around, you find out. But I'll take this little pitching advantage here. Plus 106, Urania against Pecco. And I do like Yordan Alvarez as well. Of course, what's not to like about a guy going out there smashing everything here, looking to try to be an MVP as well. But I still like this advantage pitching Angels first 5 and then just take the bullpen out of the equation because Houston does. I want to minimize the number of quality at bats that the Astros get over the shitty bullpen of the Los Angeles Angels. Give me the plus 106 first 5.
Yeah, Urania's a great pitcher, by pitcher. I would agree. Not unofficially, however, I think that the Angels just sketch me out in general. But great take there, Mike. Let's keep it moving. Final game of the card, 8:40. Going back to Coors Field in Denver. Dodgers, Rockies. Final game of the season between these teams, I believe. Yeah, final game of the season. Roki Sasaki at Kyle Freeland. Mike, this is pretty much the best type of stuff we can find in the sport. When you get 13 games and it's the final game, we have one word, data. What do you think about this one?
We've seen runs. Let's go back to runs. But Dodgers, I'm going to go back to the Dodgers team total here because I think Sasaki goes out there and shuts down this Colorado team. So for this game to go over the 11.5, that means that the Dodgers got to score 12. And maybe they can get away with 11 here, but Freeland's a piece of shit. 6.27 ERA. They don't win behind him. They don't give him run support. 6.5 for the Dodgers is minus 110. I'm going to same game parlay this. I'm going to have Ohtani as an RBI. I'm going to have Freeman as an RBI. I'm going to have the over 6.5 for the Dodgers. And I'll probably add Sasaki to record the win. It's kind of a low number. I think it was like around plus, I think it was 130 when I looked earlier today. But that's the way I'm going to attack it. It's a late game. I'm expecting to be up today and fire away and have some fun sitting back, waiting to see if these guys can cash these prop bets for us here. I don't know why they're started at 8:40 again for a, I guess getaway, but this isn't a getaway game, right? This is just a weird start time as well. The last 2 days here with these games ending at 8 p.m., just kind of weird mark on the calendar. But in any event, Dodgers probably do kick the shit out of them again, probably cover the run line. And just for whatever reason, they can't put away this Colorado team and they leave them hanging around. So I expect them to get their runs though.
This is actually the final game of the season, so this is a getaway game. But I have plus 1.5 and I have the over. I think you're going to see another crazy one. And Mike, you know, we're actually texting about this last night, and I said part of the reason why people don't bet baseball is because they want blowouts. They want bangers. When you bet games like this, you have to understand, guys, put your phone down and go for a walk. The game's going to be insane. You're not going to look at it and say, oh, well, I have it totally in control. But the point is, all you need is to win the bet. You don't need to have it make you feel good for 3 hours as it's happening. That's what happened last night. The game got out of control for the Rockies, and they came back, won in the 8th. They actually could have scored more in the 8th, and won in the 9th. And that's what could happen here tonight. It's just a 9-inning game. There's a lot of zigzag, but I think even more precisely, really nice stuff here. This is the second 4-game set here, or 3, or whatever. It doesn't matter. But there's a pattern developing here, and it's actually fantastic stuff. So you go back to the first series of the year, Dodgers at Rockies. The Dodgers won the first game of the series by 6 runs. They came back, and the second game of the series was a 1-run game. So blowout, Rockies closed the margin in game 2. What happened in game 3? Roki Sasaki road bump at Colorado. Rockies won the game and hammered this guy at altitude 9-6. Now you go to this series. Dodgers win the first game by 6 runs exactly. Rockies closed the margin last night. And now you get Sasaki on the road bump in game 3. I think the Rockies could win this game. They're going to hit this guy on the road. Freeland gives it up every single time versus the Dodgers. What you're going to see here is you're going to see a game somewhere in the range of 8-7, 9-8, a crazy tight back and forth game. The Rockies are not as bad as last year. The Dodgers are in a funky spot. The Rockies are going to say this is the last game of the year versus the champs. Let's bring some playoff mentality to the game. Tight game, over, a lot of stuff going on. Just over an hour, Mike. Happy birthday to everybody who's having a day today, including myself. And we got best.
It's your birthday. Happy birthday to you. Man, I got to pare it down here. I was just looking at the card like, holy shit, there's a lot of spots that I want to get my money on today here. Let's go with the Cubs. We'll go with the Cubs minus 138. I love that little get back opportunity. Miami, I'm going to take them in the first 5 plus 102. Kind of like them plus 117. I'll just take them with that first 5 here. Baltimore, I'm going to go with that first 5 plus 102. I'm going to take the Parker Messick over 6.5 strikeouts at plus 107. I'll take the Nationals first 5 at minus 104 and the Angels first 5 under 4.5. So you got the Cubs minus 138, Miami first 5 plus 102, Baltimore first 5 plus 102, Messick 6.5 strikeouts plus 107, and the Nationals first 5 minus 104, and the LA Angels first 5 under 4.5 minus 104.
All right, let's see what I have here. We're going with the Diamondbacks plus 150. Going with the Phillies minus 122. Orioles plus 110. Reds minus 140. And, Mike, did you give them the Brewers?
No.
All right, we'll go with the Brewers minus 117. And we can definitely rip a parlay. We got 15 games. We got a lot of data here. This is good stuff.
Yeah, let's go with that Angels first 5.
Sure. Yeah.
Let's add. You want to get that Colorado over in there?
Yeah, sure.
And then what do you want to add for the Toronto run line plus 1.5?
Sure.
I love it. Sure. Let's go, man. Scherzer. Speaking of sure, it's Max Scherzer Day. Get yourselves a cold beverage. Pour a little of it out for my guy, Shark, here to give him a happy birthday and good wishes out there, you guys. Appreciate everybody that's tuned in. We'll be back to do it again tomorrow at 12 p.m. It'll be Thursday. Nice little getaway day, some afternoon ball, some evening ball. We're going to bring it to y'all. Make sure you smash that thumbs up button. And again, comment post-show. Give my boy a happy birthday out there. Let's go, man. Happy birthday to you, Shark.
Thank you. I appreciate it, guys. We appreciate you guys hanging out in the chat. Fire chat today on this Wednesday. As always, guys, manage your bankroll. There's crazy variance in this sport. It's part of the fun of it. It's the unknown. You get to actually feel a little, adrenaline of the gamble. But as I said when we talked about the Colorado game, a lot of your wins are just chaotic for 3.5 hours. So just take a breath, enjoy the games, manage your bankroll, and everything will come out right in the end. We will see you guys tomorrow for the Thursday show. As Mike said, that is it for this one, the Wednesday show, August the 19th, 2026. For Mike, I am the Shark. Stay fast, stay strong, stay disciplined, and let's dominate.
I'm like an addict, do I gotta have it. I ain't even playing, got a really bad habit. If it moves, gotta grab it, fuse like a magnet. Lose, won't have it till I'm doomed in a casket. I ain't playing, got a weird mind. If you work 8 hours, I'ma work 9. If the shit tastes sour, you should taste mine.